welcome to Daily Dictation. This week we're talking all about hobbies, but we're focusing only on sports. This video is for a low intermediate English speaker, and it's made to help you practice your English skills. In order to practice your English skills, you are going to listen to 5 sentences. Each sentence will be read 3 times, and you will write them down exactly how you hear them to practice your listening skills and your writing skills. After you write down these 5 sentences, then we are going to go through the answers together. I will explain the spelling tips and tricks so you can improve your spelling and writing, and I'm going to talk to you about different grammar that you will see in each sentence so you can apply it in your own writing and understand how it works. After that, I'm going to give you a list of vocabulary words related to sports, which is really useful if you play sports and you're looking at doing IELTS, TOEFL, or CELPIP soon, because the speaking and sometimes listening and writing portion talks about this topic. So it's good to know vocabulary, how to use it when you're speaking and when you're writing. So I'd like you to join me every day for Daily Dictation. There is a new video from Monday to Friday. There are new sentences each weekday, new topics each week, and 2 English levels offered. The instructions for this activity: you will need a blank piece of paper and a pencil. 5 sentences will be read, and each sentence will be read 3 times and 1 more time at the end. You have to write down each sentence exactly how you hear it, and you will use your listening skills. Try your best to apply the correct spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. So you will see here on the screen, there are numbers 1 to 5. Each number represents a different sentence that I will read. I'm going to start with sentence number 1. Number 1. The team celebrated their victory after winning the game. The team celebrated their victory after winning the game. The team celebrated their victory after winning the game. Number 2. Our coach always encourages each player to do their best. Our coach always encourages each player to do their best. Our coach always encourages each player to do their best. Number 3. The referee made a call during the game. The referee made a call during the game. The referee made a call during the game. Number 4. She trains hard for the competition and does her exercise routine daily. She trains hard for the competition and does her exercise routine daily. She trains hard for the competition and does her exercise routine daily. Number 5. The soccer field was filled with excited players. The soccer field was filled with excited players. The soccer field was filled with excited players. I'm going to read each sentence one more time, starting with sentence number 1. The team celebrated their victory after winning the game. Number 2. Our coach always encourages each player to do their best. Number 3, the referee made a call during the game. Number 4, she trains hard for the competition and does her exercise routine daily. Number 5, the soccer field was filled with excited players. So those are our 5 sentences. I'm sure everybody did a really wonderful job writing them down. Let's get ready to check our answers. If you found that this video was a little bit too fast, you can listen again and slow it down by adjusting the playback speed in the settings. If you want to listen to specific sentence numbers again, just check the description for timestamps, and this will help you listen to specific sentences. If you feel like you've gotten everything and you just want to check, let's go ahead and check our answers. We're going to start with number 1. The team celebrated their victory after winning the game. So let's break this down. The team, this is our subject, and celebrated is our verb. It's in simple past. Their victory is the object of the sentence, and we're using a possessive adjective there. So make sure you're spelling that correctly and not getting it mixed up with their. Whoops, that's not how you spell it. There or there. Because these two have the same sound, however, they all have different functions. So this tells us about a location, and this is subject they contracted with the form of BR. And this is THEIR, which is a possessive adjective. So that's what we want to use to show that the victory belongs to them, which is the team. Then we have a conjunction after. This conjunction is here in the middle, so we do not need a comma. If we started the sentence and said, after winning the game, the team celebrated their victory. If we change the order of the clauses like that, then we would need a comma. So if I said this, after this clause, then I would need a comma if I'm starting with the conjunction at the front of my sentence. Right? So there's 2 ways to say the exact same thing. You're just making the clauses a different order. And if you start with your conjunction at the front, that means you're starting with your dependent clause and you do need a comma. However, if your independent clause is first, like this one, then you don't need a comma. Let's have a look at the next sentence. Our coach always encourages each player to do their best. So our coach is the subject. We have our adverb of frequency always here, which goes right before our verb. And like we mentioned in a grammar video not too long ago, adverbs of frequency, we put them after the subject before the verb. And also we use adverbs of frequency in the simple present tense. So we see our coach is singular, third person. So we're going to put an S and add the singular third person rule on this verb. Each player is the object of the sentence. And then we're adding more information here to do their best. And here we have another possessive adjective before the word best. Let's go ahead and go to the next sentence. The referee made a call during the game. So the referee made a call. The referee is our subject. Made is our verb in this simple past. A call is the object. Referee might be a hard word to spell. So I would split it up into 3. So ref, e. Because what happens is when people spell this word in English, they usually forget an E because there are so many E's. So if you split it up into smaller bits, then you're more likely to remember where all of the E's are and not to second guess yourself. There are 4 E's. That's a lot for a relatively short word. So make sure you split it up into smaller bits if you found that that word was hard to spell. Going back to our structure, during the game is on our second clause here, and that's our dependent clause to give us more information there. So we don't need any comma because of the order of the clauses, just like up here. And just like I showed you up here, I'll show you how this would change. So if I said during the game, starting with my dependent clause, then I would have to put a comma. And that's what it would look like. During the game, the referee made a call, just like that. And then I would need the comma. But in this case, this part's first. I don't need the comma. Number 4, she trains hard for the competition and does her exercise routine daily. So there's 2 ideas here. She trains hard for the competition. And so she is the subject, trains is the verb, hard, and then for the competition. The spelling for competition, it's up to you how you want to split it up. I would split it up as comp, et, it, yon. Because for this one, there are a lot of vowels, E's, I's, and sometimes because there's E's and I's, when you're trying to sound the word out, it's not always clear if it's an I sound or an E sound because of the way we pronounce some words in English, especially in North America. So it is harder to catch sometimes. However, if you split it up in these smaller bits, you can kind of remember where the E's go and where the I's go, making sure you're not forgetting anything, and making sure that it's all in the right order. Another tricky word for spelling is exercise. And we do have a coordinating conjunction in the middle. We don't need a comma before or after this conjunction here, because both of these sentences, or both of these clauses rather, can stand by themselves and they would make perfect sense by themselves. They're both independent. So when we have these 2 independent ones, we don't need that. Does her exercise routine daily. Going back to the spelling, we start with X, size, like that. And I would really keep this together because that tells you that there is 1 C and 1 S and nothing else, because oftentimes people want to put an S here, which is wrong. Or they just forget the C altogether, because this also X, the sound, kind of can sound like an S to some people, can be a little bit confusing. Number 5, the soccer field was filled with excited players. So the soccer field is our subject. We have a form of be in the simple past. And filled, this is actually an adjective. We have some more information. We have a preposition with, which connects this part of the sentence with a noun, excited players. We're modifying the noun with another adjective here. Now, everything in this sentence should be okay for spelling. There's 2 things that might be tricky, and it's field and excited. Field is tricky because sometimes we get the E and the I mixed up. Is it EI or is it IE? And that's where the saying in English becomes really important. So we have a saying that says I before E except after C. So in almost every word in English, we're going to put I first and E seconds. I before E. That's what that means. And it says except after C. So if you look at this word, we'll leave it in the base form. Receive. I before E except after C. So we're saying that in the case that there is I and E after C, like these 2 vowels, after the letter C in a word, we're not going to follow this rule. So there's no C in feel that comes after F. So we are going to put I first and then E second. That's the rule. Except after C, in this word, we have I and E, but there's C first. So we're not going to put an I before E. Actually, we put E before I in this rule. So I before E except after C. This saying is what some English speakers use to help remember the letter order in words, because a lot of words follow this letter order. And really, sometimes it's this if there's a C in the sentence. Excited players. For this one, remind yourself that there's X and then cited. So a lot of people will forget that C. And what happens when we forget that C? What you're saying is exited. I have exited, like I left the building, for example, I exited the building. So make sure that you're forgetting this or remembering this C. So you're saying the correct word. Besides that, that is all of the breakdown and a couple of spelling tips and tricks for you, some grammar explanations. There are some bold words that are important for vocabulary. And so we're just going to move on to that. I'll give you a better list of them. So the vocabulary words to focus on this week: team, coach, game, score, player, competition, field, referee, victory, exercise. This is really good vocabulary if you're somebody who plays sports or does exercise in their free time, because if you are taking IELTS or some kind of proficiency exam, they actually ask you what your hobbies are. A lot of the time it's very, very common. Or it might come up in other elements of the exam, like listening or writing as well. So it's really good to know these vocabulary words because it shows that you have an excellent range of vocabulary, which is an important element of the exam. If you're using words that are too basic, then it doesn't really show that you have a good understanding of vocabulary, and you're probably not going to get the best band score that you could. So it's good to challenge yourself a little bit, and it's useful. Besides that, we are all finished for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon, and keep on practicing your English. Keep on doing the best that you can. I'll see you next time. Bye.